Is anybody listening? Mm-hmm. I wonder, can you hear me? Mm-hmm. A voice in the wilderness. Uh-huh. I wonder, can you see me? Trouble is on the land. Every man against every man. Sister, I wonder, can you stand? Come here and take my hand. Grab the babies and get my gun. Mm-hmm. On the street it's on its own. Mm-hmm. Sober up real quick, real quick. Mm-hmm. Put down that glass stick. Mm-hmm. No more puffing on your cigarettes. Mm-hmm. Get ready for the party tricks. Mm-hmm. Is anybody listening? I wonder, can you hear me? This voice in the wilderness. I wonder, can you see? Some are here and others are gone. Concentration camps, damn, they wrong. Hush, be quiet, don't say a word.
Brothers, hold on to your sisters. Brothers and sisters, hold on to your babies. We're gonna be alright. I know it don't look good right now, but put your hand in the hand of the Most High. That way you can't lose. Keep on pressing on. Keep on pressing on. Keep on pressing on.
Is anybody listening? I wonder, can you hear me? A voice in the wilderness. I wonder, can you see me? Trouble is on the land. Every man against every man. Sister, I wonder, can you stand? Come here and take my hand. Grab the babies and give me my gun. On the street is on its own. Sober up real quick, real quick. Put down that glass stick. No more puffing on your cigarettes. Get ready for the party tricks. Is anybody listening? I wonder, can you hear me? This voice in the wilderness. I wonder, can you see? Some are here and others are gone. Concentration camps, damn, they roam. Hush, be quiet, don't say a word.
Brothers, hold on to your sisters. Brothers and sisters, hold on to your babies. We're gonna be alright. I know it don't look good right now, but put your hand in the hand of the Most High. That way you can't lose. Keep on pressing on. Keep on pressing on. Keep on pressing on. Peace, family. Brother Dawa here. once again, and I'm very pleased to be here one more time, family. I was looking forward to doing this particular show a few weeks ago, but we didn't get a chance to do it. Our schedules kind of conflicted. But I'm here today, or tonight, rather. Today is, I guess it depends on when you see it. Some people will see this in the daytime, and some watching it now. And some watching it somewhere else in another part of the world where it's probably daytime right now. My brother from across the waters, Rex and King Activities, my young my young brother that says I've been inspiration to his life. He's in the chat for the first time, so I'm glad to see he was able to make it live. And for those of you who don't know, my name is Dawa Yisrael, and I am the host of, well, I used to be the host of the Yah's Real Hour in Chicago, Illinois, from 2007 to 2015. I have a following now because some people remember me from my television show, and I've always had very controversial topics on the show. How you doing, my sister Infinite Pipe? I see you on there. England's in the house, all right now. Black Dust, yes indeed. I appreciate you all. I appreciate everybody. Europe, Amsterdam, all right now. Asarel. I appreciate everybody that's on the on the line. I say in the chat. It's an honor to have so many people already here, waiting to hear this commentary. I'm gonna say this before I see the sisters already actually in the chat too. I'm gonna share the link in a second so I can let her come on and we can open this conversation. But let me share my screen with you all. I'm gonna show y'all something. All right, as you can see, this is me. This is my book, The Definition of a Broke Ass, the Homosexual, Lesbian, Transgender, and Bestiality Assault on the Black Race. Well, that's what it says in the red here. As you can see, there are two sisters here. At the top there are two brothers too, but you really can't see them that clearly. But it's two brothers at the top of the video. This is back in 2015. So, been a few years since I had since I took this picture. But this book was written in 2012. It was first came out with a red cover. But when I had it put out again, I changed the cover. An open dialogue for the people is the goal. That's right, Sister Lesby. We're gonna have an open dialogue for the people. And we're gonna hopefully we'll all be enlightened once this particular show is over. And if we have to do another one, maybe we could do another one. But this book is very controversial. I had to spend, matter of fact, hold up, let me blow that up again. This was in May 26th of 2015 is when this picture was taken. Now, December 25th of that same year, I was on my way to Canada, and I was supposed to be giving a lecture, and everybody that came to the lecture is going to be, the place only held 50 people. It was a small Caribbean restaurant that was opening up, all, our people. And I was set to go there, and on the 25th of December, which is Christmas, the Pale-Faced Man's Christmas, the 2015. And everybody was going to get a book. Everybody was going to get dinner, and everybody was going to get some surprise music from me and a lecture. But the music was going to come last. Now, I had these books in my trunk packed up with my amp in a box that I had sitting in the back of my amp. And when they saw that picture, or when they saw that book and the books I had, basically it was just one book, but of course I had 50 copies. When they saw that book and they saw themselves in the book, uh, let's just say I ended up being held 7 hours in jail uh, at the border in Canada, you know. And if the ancestral spirits, the Most High, if the Most High hadn't been speaking to me and directing me, I probably wouldn't be here sitting here having this conversation, because I was truly behind enemy lines at that particular time. And I had to actually, before I left, them 7 hours, I had to actually strip. They wanted to do a cavity check, but they didn't touch me. It was a no-touch cavity check. Yeah, that's the last thing they did before I left. So like I said, the pale-faced man is a homosexual. And their greatest desire is to turn the indigenous man into a homosexual. And to, turn the women into lesbians as well. I think the agenda is great for the pale faces to want our women to embrace lesbianism as their women have embraced lesbianism. And a lot of the lesbianism, matter of fact, most of the lesbianism I know of from my studies in the pale community is that the pale men make dildos, strap-ons, and all that stuff for women because they don't have no use for women, because they really don't want women. They don't really want to give their penises to women. They don't want to be intimate with women like that. So they made dildos and they put women all out on the island of Lesbos. And that's how we get the word lesbian from Europeans. So our sisters wouldn't even have the word to use if it wasn't for Europeans. Again, the word lesbian, of course, it comes from Europeans, not even our word. But anyway, back to my story. They took all my books and all my CDs, because I'm a musician, as you hear my music playing at the beginning of the show. They took all of my DVDs from my show and told me I wasn't going to be able to go into Canada. They sent me right on back around the turnstile, right on back to Michigan. So that's just how powerful the book was. And later on, 6 months later, I got a letter from them in the mail saying that my book was listed as international hate speech. One of these days, I'm going to bring that paperwork out and show y'all. And maybe after this particular show, I'll do it. I'll set up a date and time or something, and I'll show you all the paperwork so you know I'm not just talking. I like to bring receipts myself. And I'll just read some of the comments, so don't mind me. Oh, the brother that sent me the Cash App yesterday. Brother, I do appreciate it, brother. You need to, I'm glad you on, Debo, the bad guy. Brother, do me a favor. I need you to send me, let me put my, this is my email, brother. I want you to send me your address. Because I need your address in order to send you some music. I do appreciate you, brother, for the donation and for the ordering of the music. Believe me, it's well appreciated. All right. Is the book available in PDF form? I'm going to get that set up and I'll be letting everybody know when I do. I had it at one time, but I done moved so many times and I've been through so many different things. I kind of lost some of my information. So I'm going to pick up and make sure I get it back on PDF. Again, Leonard Washington. Peace, brother. So now let me get ready to share this link in the chat so I can get the sister on. But before I get the sister on, I got a sister that said she wanted to come on and talk, and I'm going to share the link in the chat in right after I finish this little story. Backing up before the Christmas incident, the first time I was able to go and lecture with my book was, I think, maybe I don't remember how many months it was afterwards, but I believe that same year in 2012 when I got done with the book in like February or March, I was in Milwaukee, and I was given an opportunity to speak concerning my book, and I was a part of a panel discussion. We was all talking about the LGBT community. It was all of our people, and it was inside of a bar in the basement in the indigenous area of Wisconsin where I was. And I was the only one who had a strong opinion as mine, which was no homosexuality, no lesbianism, no transgenderism, no pedophilia, of course, heterosexual behavior, and no interracial relationships. That was my position, still is. And I'm the only one who had that position. And there were two lesbians that were there. Both were dark complected sisters. Both were attractive. The stud was less attractive than the so-called femi, but usually that's how it goes. But they were sitting together at first. But once we started the discussion, I noticed that the sister that was the femi decided that she wanted to get up and she wanted to come and sit not too far from where I was sitting. I was sitting at the end of the table, at the end of the panel, and the wall was next to me. I was about 8 feet from the wall. As that's where the person who was officiating the lecture or the roundtable discussion, the host of it, he was sitting there too. So she sat not too far from him, and she asked a question of me when she got a chance to. And the question was, do you think it's too late for me? She said, do you think it's too late for me, brother? Because it's not that I don't like men. She said, I just haven't found one that I want to submit myself to. That's what the sister said to me. Now, that right there was profound to me. And she was the first person to buy my book, the first person to ever buy my book, The Definition of a Broke Ass, the Homosexual, Lesbian, Transgender, and Bestiality Assault on the Black Race, was a sister that was a feminine or a femi so-called lesbian. And that's the real deal there. Got it, bro. I'll email you. Okay. Just forgive me, y'all. I'm just reading some of the, make sure I keep up with my with y'all's comments. I don't want to get too far away from the comments. But yeah, that sister, she was supposed to come back the next day because I had a lecture the next day at an old fire department. I think it was an old fire department hall or auditorium or something like that. But I never saw them again. I don't know whether they went home and got to an argument or whatever, or what happened, but they didn't show up the next day. But anyway, enough of all that. I had a sister who said she'd been watching me for a while, a little while at least, and she's a lesbian, but she liked my style and the way I talk and things of that nature. So she wanted to have a discussion with me, and she's in the chat, and I'm finna to Sister Lesbian, I'm getting ready to put the Lesbi Conscious. I'm getting ready to put the link into the chat so you can link on and we can have this discussion. We're going to talk about why, like I said, so many lesbians among us. Why, from her perspective, and probably a few other things we'll get into. I'm pretty sure she has some things she wants to say to me, and I'm pretty sure some of you have some things that you might want to hear from her, or you might want to say to her as well. So let's get it cracking. All you gotta do, sister, is click on the link, and this should give you the information on what you gotta do to get on, so we can. All right, there she is.
All right, I think I'm in. You got an echo or anything? My audio
No
good?
echo, my sister. No echo. We good. How you
Okay.
doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, sis.
That's good. That's good. Glad to hear that.
So we finally was able to make it happen. All right.
Yeah, definitely. Finally. Very
Well,
excited. I've been wanting to jump off my own platform, but I'm glad to talk to you and somebody like that has other like-minded ideas that I have.
okay.
So hopefully I can get a little bit of people interested in the stuff I would like to put out. Like I said, the goal is just an open dialogue, you know, regardless of my sexuality. It's some lesbians out here that give out the vibe like they hate men and all that. Just because I don't date men, I look at my y'all brothers, uncles, cousins, like y'all still our counterpart. I look at the black man, I'm a black woman, like y'all my counterpart. I have love for the black man, and I have the issues, of course, just like y'all have issues with the black woman, with how we deal with each other in different realms. So hopefully at the end of this this discussion, the viewers will definitely be able to see people from our community in a different light.
Hmm. Okay. So, sister, where you located?
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland,
Oh,
born and
okay.
raised. Yep,
All right. Be more in the house.
yep,
Okay.
yep. 33 years old. Yep, 80s baby. I was born and raised here.
Okay.
A lot of issues with my city, but a lot of character too. I mean, I'm from here. I chose to come to this place for a reason. So
Uh huh.
yeah.
Okay. So, how long have you been living that particular so-called lifestyle?
I would let me see. I'm 33. Uh, since I was about 15, so I'd say about 17, maybe 18 years since high school days. I'd say about that. But I won't say that when I came out, my mother was a Christian, and that's actually what attracted me to your channel because you had made this video where you just went in on the Christian mothers and stuff like that. And our relationship is good now, but everything you were saying was just complete truth. So that's what really got me hooked on your channel and on your content was that one video that you made
Hmm.
it's probably about 2 months ago.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So so without getting too graphic, I don't mind getting personal, but I don't want to get like just too graphic as far
Right.
as like I don't want anybody in the chat saying, oh well, how do y'all do this and questioning stuff behind closed doors. But I will say that my first intimate experience at 15 was with a woman. After that, um, we had our issues being young in a relationship. It ain't work out. I did try to date men for a couple years after that, but it didn't feel natural to me. So he was a good guy, all that, but it just It just I can't explain it. I can't put words. It just didn't feel like it was for me. I felt like I was being somebody else.
Like you're forcing yourself to do something that really wasn't you,
Yes, that's how I felt.
huh? That was gonna be my next question. I was gonna ask you, have you ever been involved with it in a serious relationship with a mother, with a brother? So no is the answer, right?
As an adult, with the mindset I have, because I feel like different ages you go through, you mature. So as an adult, as the person that I am and the woman that I am today, I would say no. But I have, as a teenager and a young adult, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Hmm. Well, do you feel as if living as a lesbian, what happened? I didn't knock you on. Well, sister, come back. I don't know what happened. Look like you got knocked off or something. Let me put the link back in the because I didn't knock her off. I don't know what happened. Share the link again. Oh, there she goes. She's back.
I
I don't know what.
Yeah, I apologize. I accidentally put the screen down and I didn't know it was going to exit out. Yeah, my
Oh, okay.
apologies. Yeah, my apologies. I'm bad. Can
All
you?
right.
I didn't hear your last question or statement.
Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to ask the last question.
Oh, all right. Okay.
I was getting ready to ask you a question, but then the glitch happened and I lost the thought process of the question.
Oh man, it'll
Yeah,
come back.
well,
It'll
the
come back.
question was this is the question.
Okay.
I ask you, do you feel as if it's natural to be a lesbian? And are you a stud or a female?
I don't like the term stud just because I don't like the word. The word makes me think of some dude ranch, some cowboy. But for lack of a better definition, you would put me in the stud category. But I
Uh
don't like to call myself that.
huh.
Yeah.
You don't like to be called a stud.
No. Mm.
Okay.
Because I carry
So
myself
what about
where
the second part of what about the first part of the question? Do you feel as if it's natural?
to me, yes. I can't speak for everybody else. I do feel as though it's natural to me. But as I got older, I would say the it comes a conflict when you get to the point where you decide, but as a woman, it's a biological need. You're gonna want to have a child. So that's where a conflict comes in with that. But as far as me feeling like it's natural to me, as far as like the intimacy and how I relate on a day to day with my wife and being in different relationships with women, it is natural. I feel like
Mm,
we relate on a different level. Like I said, it's natural to me.
okay. So you mentioned a wife, and you also mentioned children, a child.
Yes,
Children, the word children, a child.
yes.
So how long you have you been married? And are the what's the situation with the children,
I've
if there
I've
is a
been
situation?
I've been married for less than a year. We've been together for almost 4 years, but we got married April of this year.
Mm,
Legally in the eyes of the court, we got married April of this year, and um, she had a son from a previous relationship, a heterosexual relationship she conceived with a guy.
how, old,
And
how old is that child now?
he's 8.
Okay.
He's 8 years old. And he's a boy. And we just had a girl. And I say
Mm,
we just said that to everybody in the chat because I know some people can't, wrap their head around when gay people say, "Oh, we just had a child." Um, for the people in the chat, if you didn't catch the last live that Brother Dawa did, me and my wife just we wanted to have a child. We talked about it for about a year, year and a half. We tried different routes, not sexually being involved with a man, not bringing a man into our relationship like that, but as far as assistive reproductive technologies, like we looked into getting a donor, going to a clinic, and we ended up finding a donor outside of a clinic. And to make a long story short, he gave us a sample out, he donated a sample into a sterile container. We inseminated my wife at home, and it resulted into a child.
Wow. So they got that advantage. You can do it at home now. You can.
It's 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 not it's not an advance. It's nature. Like when I say we tried for a year, I did a lot of research. I did a lot of reading. Uh, I work in the medical field, and I've always had a knack for medical knowledge. So a lot of the concepts that I read were easy to understand. But once you track a woman's ovulation cycle and you learn really like how the body works and everything like that, everything else I just had to, just get the timing right and just basically inseminate. The same way if she would have had sex with a man, if she was heterosexual, the same week and would have resulted in a child. It was her fertile window. We got a donor. We put the sperm where it needed to be, and it resulted in a baby. And
Mm,
our child was born the end of June of this year, and she's now 4 months.
mm, wow. So, what are you planning on telling the child about how the child got here versus, you ever thought about that conversation and what's going to be
Yes,
said if the child
yes,
asks the question of how did we get here versus how everybody else got here or the majority of us got here?
yes.
How would that
I
sound?
I will tell my child the truth. The same way if I was in a heterosexual relationship and I could not have children and I'd had to do in vitro or get an egg donor where the child wasn't biologically mine, it's the same relevant conversation. The sexuality, the relationship shouldn't matter. The same way if that was my child that I adopted and I might have to tell them one day that they were adopted. I'm going to let my child know that she was wanted by two people. Yeah, her story might be a little different, but she was wanted and she's here and she has a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm,
I feel like God, whatever your definition of God is, I feel like souls are precious. I feel like if my union with my wife was so diabolical and just so against nature, I wouldn't have been blessed like that
like what?
with a child. It could have not worked out. I could
Well,
have still been trying. So
well, uh, actually, what you done was you inserted the semen, right?
yes,
And that's all you done, right? What I
as,
mean is,
as
bringing forth of this child, you really have nothing to do with it.
uh, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I can say on the outside looking in if you might take that perspective, but I wouldn't say that because now I didn't biologically grow this child, yes, but this is a child that's a product of a union that I keep happy. This is a child that's a product of a household that is complete and whole enough to be able to bring another child into the picture and plan a pregnancy. To say I did nothing, I can't really agree with that. Biologically, no, I did not contribute. But to say I did nothing, I can't agree with that. Bringing the child forth, that child would not be here if I was not here. Point blank, period. The donor and my wife would have never crossed paths. Would have probably 99.9% likely never entered into a sexual relationship if they would have crossed paths. So that child would not be here if I was not here. I care for this child. I hold this child. After they cut this child out of my wife, they gave her to me. That child knows me. I feed this child. I hold this child. I house this child. So to say I do nothing, I can't give you that.
The reason I say that is because children come into the world through intercourse, and intercourse didn't take place in this situation because intercourse is only something that can take place when a man and a woman are together intimately, penis to vagina. That is the definition of intercourse. Damn, what the hell? She got knocked off again? Well, I don't know what keeps happening. Let me see if I can do it again. Share it one more time here. While I'm tripping. Let me invite the sister one more time. Oh, it's copied already. All right, there's the link again, my sister. Hopefully you can get on again and continue. We can continue this part of the discussion. And I'll say while you're getting yourself together to get back on, the reason why I say you had nothing to do with bringing forth a child is because all you did, from what you told me, was what you told us. Okay, here you go. So I'll say it.
Yeah,
All right,
I had a
you
phone.
good?
Yeah, I had a phone call and it knocked me out
Oh,
because I'm talking to
okay,
you on my phone. Yeah, I didn't know that was
okay,
gonna happen. Yeah,
okay,
my
okay. No
apologies.
problem. No
My
problem.
apologies to the chat.
Okay, all right. What I was saying, the reason why I said that is because
Hmm.
intercourse is between a man and a woman. Intercourse, and this
Correct.
is how children get here normally, or I'm going to say naturally. And the reason I said that, the reason why I say you had nothing to do with it is because there was no intercourse, and the only thing I see that you could have had something to do with was the inserting of the sperm, but that was
Hmm.
artificially done.
Hmm.
So that's about all we can say technically of you having
Right.
something physically to do with the child being brought forth.
Yes.
Now, what
Yes.
about the father, the donor? Excuse me. I don't want to even say father, daddy. I'm gonna say
Hmm.
donor. Is this donor
I
a
appreciate
brother?
that.
Is this a
No, he's not.
what's the race of this person? And I want to know what part
He
that
is
played in
white.
y'all's decision.
Did you hear me?
As a European,
Yes, he's a European.
and
And
why
I
was
can
he chosen?
honestly tell you the type of person that I am when we decided to embark on this journey, that was the last option for us. That was not what we wanted, but a lot of black men don't donate sperm. I don't know why, I can't really speak on that. That's up to men to decide, and I can't ask a man to do that. So that's your biology, that's your DNA. If you don't feel comfortable, I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, oh, just because I'm black and I'm gay, I want a baby. Black men should step up and do this. I would like for it to be like that because it's more nation building, but it's just not like that. So because we wanted a child, we went with a donor that we were comfortable with. We took race off the table and we had other parameters that the guy fit, and that's how it worked out. But he's not involved as far as raising a child. He might send a text message once in a while and ask how the child is doing. While she was pregnant, he asks is everything good with the pregnancy. He's donated to other couples. He has a couple other donor children, and that's the extent of the relationship. However, when she gets old enough to understand the concept, because as soon as she gets old enough to actually be able to communicate and ask, I'm gonna let her know 100% in a realm that she can understand. I'm not gonna use a lot of big words or anything, but if she's 5 and she asks me in her 5-year old mind, oh, why don't I have a dad? Such and such has a dad. I'll be able to answer that in which she can understand. And then when she get, like I said, when she gets old enough, if she decides she wants to meet him or reach out or something like that, you know, I'll explore those options then.
Mm. Well, as far as you saying is a European,
Yes.
I can see that clearly
Mhm.
because, as I said earlier, The island of Lesbos was instituted by paleface or European men, cavemen, cave beasts, crackers. It was
Yeah,
instituted
the Greeks.
by them.
Yeah,
And I said
it's
earlier,
a Greco-Roman thing.
exactly, they don't like women. And that's why they made dildos. Because they wanted no parts of using their penises for what they was made for. The main purpose of what a penis is made for is to be able to, well, not the main purpose, because I guess you do more urine. You
I
do
get what
more
you're saying though.
urinating than
I
you do
get you.
ejaculating, but
Yeah.
still, you need a penis in order to bring forth a child. And these European men, their history is real shady when it comes down to that. They're the ones who like lady on lady, and they're the ones who would definitely donate their semen to a sperm bank because the pale face caveman is the ultimate, the number one, the most notorious deadbeat dad on the planet. You all have made this cracker a deadbeat daddy. Now, when it comes down to a brother is condemned in the neighborhood among us if he's a so-called deadbeat that don't want to see his children. Now, he is also one that's more than likely acknowledged that the child is here, but just may not want to see the child because of the drama between him and the mother or whatever. But that type of brother is going to be raked over the coals in the community, while there are sisters who can go on the other end who become lesbians and go pick some deadbeat cracker to come and produce babies with them that can be a deadbeat. Now let me ask you this: is this deadbeat cracker? Is you say he got other children or just one more? How many more donor children does this cave boy have? Did knocked off again, huh?
Wow.
Let me share it one more time. Yeah, family, the pale faced man is the ultimate deadbeat dad. This cave crackling was happy. They feel good about themselves when they can walk themselves to a, what you call it, a sperm donor building or whatever, and walk in and take a magazine and beat his meat off, which is unnatural as hell. You go into some little room with some lotion or whatever, and you're just gonna beat yourself off at will just because you want to have a baby out here somewhere that you don't have nothing to do with. It's strictly pale face, Greco-Roman. Yeah, sis, did you hear my last question?
Yeah, I'm not sure the number.
Okay, I'm saying I'll ask you. How you say he has at least one more
Yeah.
child or several other donor children?
Several.
No, all with sisters, or they what what the races of the women are?
I'm not sure. It's not that deep of a relationship where I know that like the ins and outs of that.
Oh, okay. So do you all know? Okay, what's gonna happen with the siblings? Because they're gonna know each other, like from the deadbeat donor, the deadbeat cracker. They gonna know each other. His kids, his children.
That's up to the mothers.
Oh, exactly. So, in other words, there's
Yeah.
been
So
no conversation between you all and the other women who've decided they want the same cave donor. There's been no communication between the women, so you all haven't had any serious conversations about the future of the children because of basically
no, that's
probably.
not that's
I mean, about the
uh
future of the children. When I say the future of the children, I mean in reference to them getting to know their siblings, because I'm pretty sure at
well,
some point.
I would say in my opinion, well, my point of view is that I would like for them to have a relationship, but if they don't, like that's up to their parents. I can't force anybody, but I would be open to it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how this works because I've never, you mentioned
Uh,
brothers really don't do the donor thing, and
as she gets older, she's gonna ask if she has siblings,
right, that's what I'm
and
right. Exactly.
I'm gonna tell her the truth. Now, let me ask you this, right? So my situation is in my household. Without getting too personal, I made a comment on the last show that our son has a father who is incarcerated. He's not coming home. He got like a couple decades. Like he won't be able to touch the earth until his son is probably a grandfather till he gets out. So in my household, I have a child. They might ask those questions that you stated, yes, but I also have a child that is a product of a heterosexual relationship that's gonna ask, why does he have a sister that's 2 days apart from him? Why does why where's his father too? So it's like you you came across like we are giving a guy a pass to be a deadbeat if he's a sperm donor. That's not the case. That's not what that is.
Well, he doesn't have to take care of the child, right?
I'm because we came to him. It's
Right.
not a product of
Yeah,
an
that's what I'm
intimate
saying.
relationship.
Exactly, that's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. So you all have allowed him to be what would be considered by in our community a deadbeat dad
he's
because
not a
it's
dad though. He's not a dad. He's a donor. The same way if somebody donated me a kidney or another organ or some other bodily fluid, gave me blood, plasma or something, he's not a dad. So take that whole the dad responsibility, that's done. It's nothing but he's just a donor. Now, as far as my son, his father has a responsibility because he is a dad. You had an intimate relationship with a woman and you decided to make certain choices in your life after your kids were already here that took you away from them. Now, I have two children that I have to raise that will ask me the same question, but on two completely different ends of the spectrum. And I really don't see the difference. I don't know which one. They could both be, as a child, sometimes you have to come in and you have to deal with the choices that your parents made. So I don't know if my daughter is going to have to deal with the choices that we made, bringing her here, in the same way as well as my son, who have to deal with the choices of the fact that how his biological parents brought him here, and why his father did not have the mindset to, just stick around. Like he had a choice. You have two kids that are living and breathing. Like I said, he got a sibling that's 2 days apart from him. He got another sibling that he doesn't know. Now I'm sure you didn't ask me. I'm not you. You might have gone on and asked me, but you didn't ask me anything about his father. And he's the product of a straight relationship, which brings me to my point: is that a lot of people in the conscious community worry about gay people and our kids. It's a whole child that's out of a product. Which can we tackle that? Off the realm of that's how most of our children get here. So it makes me angry that y'all put it so much on gay people because y'all have a responsibility to children because y'all sexually reproduce. A straight man can impregnate a woman every day of the year if he chooses to, if she's ovulating. But when it come to me and my family, oh, I'm allowing somebody to be a deadbeat. I was raised by a deadbeat. Like, I would never bring that on my child, but as a woman, guess what? I'm intellectual enough and I'm financially stable enough to decide, yes, I'm in a healthy relationship. I can give a child a loving home. I'm gonna have a child. And if I wouldn't have been able to do it that way, I would have adopted a child. I would have fostered a child. I had love to give to a child, so that cannot be tainted. Whether people have an issue with how the child got here or the donor, you know, that's completely irrelevant to me because I'm more worried about my child that came from a heterosexual union actually because he's gonna have a lot of questions because he knows he has a dad out there.
well. There's a lot wrong here, and I
Mhm.
don't have the paperwork to say I can counsel you. I don't have psychology paperwork from the Europeans saying that I've graduated from his psychological classes or schools and I'm certified.
Oh no,
But I
I don't, I don't,
do.
I don't, I don't, I don't need a strength. Would you say that I needed in this situation? Do you feel like I need psychological help?
No, no, I'm just saying from
Oh,
what I
gotcha,
see,
gotcha,
uh, from my
gotcha.
standpoint, this is not healthy because first of all, again, we're dealing with two women
Hmm.
where there is no man. And then the two women decide to, when they get a man, to get one outside of the race, which is would bring forth what they call, according to the dictionary, miscegenation. Any child born half and half, black and white, whatever you want to call it,
Uh-huh.
is a child born from what they call miscegenation, which is something that used to be against the law in America because basically it's genocide for either race. It's like you actually committing genocide against your own race when
You know
you
what?
ain't.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. And I've always felt as though that all the other races they preach stand in their own race, but when black people do it, it's the issue. So I agree with you. But me and my wife, we wanted a child, and we took the we came to the decision that the child that we were gonna have, our donor would come to us, and that's the one that came to us. That's the one we felt comfortable with, and at the end of the day, we feel like she was meant to be here.
Mhm. Uh, you say he's not a deadbeat dad; he's just a donor.
Yeah,
How can you separate uh, the sperm from the daddy?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you why. I separate that in my mind
No, no. I said
with
how?
with
How can you?
can you elaborate on that a little bit?
How can you separate the sperm from the person who gave the sperm? You say he's not a dad. Any man that lays with a woman and gets her pregnant or and she has his baby is considered the baby's dad, right?
That's kind of I feel like that's kind of a loose term because if a guy
That's a
goes
loose
out and
term.
yeah, it is a loose term because if a guy goes out and rape a woman, is he considered a dad? No, he fathered that child. But when I hear the word dad, I think of an affectionate role, a caretaker. I think of dad, daddy, as the opposite of mother, mommy, or something. That's affectionate. That's an affectionate term. So, and I
Oh,
might
so
be
we
being a,
talking.
huh?
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Right.
The
So I
difference,
mean, so
the
yeah.
difference
So
between
like,
dad versus father.
right. So I mean, like, if you want to say like if they fathered a child, but I feel like fathered is to me that definition of fathered is just planting a seed. I can say that a guy that raped a woman fathered a child because that's what he did, but I can't say a guy that raped a woman is a dad because he's not.
Oh, okay, but you can't separate the sperm from the person.
I can, I can,
You can.
yeah. In that situation because he donated. The person that gets a kidney from a live donor is not thinking like, oh wow, you know, somebody's walking around with one kidney. Once you choose to donate, you choose to donate.
Hmm. Yeah, this is truly caveman madness because there's no accountability on the man's part at all. Again, and if this was something, this is why you say you couldn't find no brothers to do. We not finna go walk into no buildings too much and get no girly magazines or whatever and let them give us some Vaseline and go in some room and beat out. We just not finna do that caveman
And
nonsense.
and and and,
But
and that does
men do
sound
that.
weird.
Men do that
Yes,
that
that that
don't
that
give a
does sound weird.
to me, men do that don't give a damn about a family. That don't give a damn about the women or the seas. Why would I
What do you
trust
say
you?
about men that have intimate relationships with women and actually, plant they seed into a woman? That woman and cooked them dinner that night, then cleaned up the house and did her little shit or whatever. Oh, excuse my language, and did whatever she had to do. And they lay together, but he still don't take care of the child. What do you call that? That's a guy that really don't care about it 2 times over, because he's not making a conscious choice to be like, oh wow, I know people that want kids or something. I just want to come from a place where I'm helping somebody out. Versus a guy that has had an intimate relationship with a woman that leaves her high and dry. That's much worse. And that's what the heterosexual community does.
I'm not at all saying that a brother that does the same thing is right. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm trying to get to is the fact that this type of crazy is truly European craziness, and your sisters. See, we have allowed the European to, as far as I'm concerned, to cause us to live by their means. We live in romantically, and Roman. In other words, Roman antics is how we actually live. And it's sad that we haven't been able to come to the table ourselves as male and female to figure this thing out. Sisters, if you have a choice, now in your situation, y'all come together, you made a choice to go and get a man, and let him be the sperm donor or the donor for a child. And as adults, I guess it's a choice you all have the right to make. But you can't find a sperm bank in a black community anywhere, right? I don't know anybody that ever decided they was going to open a sperm bank up, or anybody that works at one or nothing. So you don't even find that institution at all within our community, correct? You there? Off again, huh? I think sisters should use their very keen uh, senses. Sisters can sense when a brother is bullshit. And a lot of times, sisters get in these relationships with these dudes that end up being deadbeat dads, and they already knew something wasn't right, but they wouldn't dealt with him anyway. And it happens, I think, with male and female. We get in relationships, and later on, we can't stand each other and all that. And we saw all the red flags, or enough of them, but we decided to just go ahead on and get in the relationship anyway. We need better counseling as far as relationships goes on who we should and should not get with among our own races. Among our own race, that is, to me. I'm gonna let you back on since you're back in, I see. All right. Yeah, you back again, sis? Oh, damn, out again? I don't know what's happening now. Yeah, there's some foul brothers out here that really don't want to take care of their children. And that's because we haven't been able to establish ourselves, I believe, away from Europeans. See, if we get to where we can establish ourselves away from Europeans and we can do things by nature and within nature, we would eradicate all of that. Because I don't think every man deserves a child. We had a rites of passage back in, before the European enslaved us and took away the rites of passage that we had. And without that rites of passage, you can't see the future of men through the eyes of older men who already know what it's like to be a man and have been holding things down as a man in their community. So you need that oversight, that insight from older men to be able to say, well, this one here, I don't think you want to send him out because he's not ready. I see something in him that was going to cause him to be what's considered a deadbeat, or what's considered a man that's going to walk away from his family. We went through a series of tests to ensure pass or fail, and whether this person was going to be able to hold down a family like a man's supposed to or not. And if they weren't not able to do so, they had to get the hell up out of the tribe. They couldn't get no woman. And that's the way it went. Every man is not, to me, as far as I'm concerned, not eligible. But women, y'all go and pick men like you all. You back on, sis? Are you there? Sister, a lesbian. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Man, on again? I don't know what to say now. This is crazy. Making me lose my train of thought.
All right, I'm back on. Yeah, I was reading the chat, and when I hit the Lord X at the top, it kept exiting me out. I was reading the comments in the chat.
Okay, do you want to respond to something in the comment section?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, I'm not focused on the negative of black men. There are some great black men that are fathers out here. I have a couple cousins in my family, but I would say that my father didn't do the job that he was supposed to do, as that I think that he should have done as a father. But I'm not trying to focus on the negative. I'm just speaking on the fathers that directly impact my life, as far as the father that I had, the father that my stepson had. Those are the or has not had. He still has a father, and I've never had words with this man, but I've been dealing with what she was saying about me, like his baby mother, my wife, for the last past 3-4 years. And as a man, I would think that, regardless if it was another man, another woman, whoever, if you're in a serious relationship, hey, can you put me on the phone with such and such? Let me, see where they head at, something like that. So he has never done that in the last, and years. I can count on probably all my fingers and toes how many times he has called his son, even in his situation. He's not doing what I feel that he could do as being a father. And those are the fathers that I'm concerned with. But no, it's some great black male fathers out here. I do not have that perspective at all. I'm not trying to take that away from black men. I came on the show saying that I see black men as brothers and uncles and cousins, even though I don't have intimate relationships with black men sexually. I have a great stepdad. Like I said, I have cousins that I love that are black men. I have uncles. I had a great grandfather when he was alive. So I know there are great black men out here. So just because I'm a lesbian, don't look at me in the lens of I don't see the value of black men, because I did, because we need y'all as protectors. We need y'all as fathers. Just because that wasn't the route that I went. I will say that we do need y'all as fathers, and I will give y'all flowers. The ones that deserve it. But at the same time, in my community and what I see, for the most part, and this is the stories that I hear, even women, my coworkers, different women that I deal with in a day to day, they have issues with their baby dads, or they feel like their baby dad not doing this, not taking care of the child. They can't depend on their baby father to watch the child while they at work. That's terrible. That's not okay. And I'm holding black men accountable, but in no way in part do I feel like I have a negative image of black men. I'm only speaking on what I see and what my community goes through and what I see my peers and heterosexual women around my age go through as well. And that's it. I'm gonna pass it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the father plays a very important role
Yeah,
in upbringing
fact,
children, and that's
fact,
what I'm hearing in this here conversation. That's why I asked you about the father
fact.
and his role in this child's life. And this child is going to be impacted because their father, I know we will agree to disagree with this on this point, but is a deadbeat
Mm-hmm.
dad by choice, by or by allowance. He's allowed to
Mm-hmm.
not have to do anything because this is the choice that the mother's made. or the
Mm-hmm.
women may. So he is allowed to just go around and just spread his seed without having to put any financial stability toward any of his children. So again, that is truly that's a deadbeat dad. And again, the reason why they have a sperm bank is because the pale faced man is a deadbeat daddy. I mean, he went
Oh.
through the slave plantation and had who
Mm-hmm.
he wanted to have. And he sometimes, well, not sometimes, most all of the time, took our women by force. Now our women are freely giving themselves to the caveman. That's another thing. Historically, I think sisters need to pay attention to what type of father has the pale-faced man been, and what type of father has the brothers been, and 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 just like historically, since we have met the European, since the European has conquered us, we have become over the decades weaker and weaker. Is from what I see. Before he conquered us, we had a rites of passage, and everything was very intriguing to the pale-faced man. This is why he spent so much time trying to destroy the relationship between us and our women, because when he came into our presence, he saw what male and female and child really looked like. We gave him the example, the male, the females, and the children, of course, our families gave him the example of what a family really was. He had no real idea of how it worked. And so he's been doing everything he can since he saw that and became envious and jealous of that to destroy it. He's been doing a pretty good job. And when they
Mm-hmm.
can turn the men against the women to make the men want to lay with each other, and turn the women against the men so that the women will lay with each other, and then some of us be talking about we just want to get rid of our sexual organs altogether or add on sexual organs that ain't really there. We become transgenders. We have allowed
Yeah, see, I don't.
ourselves.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to that transgender. I mean, not to disrespect nobody, but I mean, I'm a lesbian, and I don't even like to really speak on gay men because I can't speak to their sexuality, you know. But as a woman, I do feel as though when you get into science, the X chromosome is 3 times larger than the Y chromosome. The male came from the woman. Women have a part of their anatomy that has no purpose but to induce pleasure to them. So to say, and I believe that at once, and well, it is a scientific fact that women once produced asexually, but when they couldn't, they genetically mutated, and that's when you got the male who got the Y chromosome, and that's why now we produce sexually today.
Mm,
So what me being
yeah, I've
saying
heard
that
that.
is another reason why I feel as though like it's natural for me physically and emotionally to be with a woman.
Mm.
So those are my beliefs. That's how I feel. Those are the things that I subscribe to. I mean, people might disagree, but that's fine.
Do you
But
feel
that's
like
just my opinion on the matter.
do you feel like you were born that way, or you feel like it came on later on in your life? That feeling, those feelings to be with a woman.
Hmm, that's a good question. When I think back and think about my life, and I think about different instances, as even me being a child and how I felt around different, around my different peers that were the same sex was different than how I felt around my peers that were the opposite sex.
Mm,
As a girl growing up, you might have a best friend, but if you're gay, you might realize that, oh, you might really like this best friend a little extra or something like that. So I would say that. So I would say it is. I've always intimately had feelings for women, and as a little girl, I've never pictured my wedding day, me walking up the aisle and seeing a man there. That's just never been me.
mm. And you're '80s baby.
Yes, 88.
Mm. Well, have you ever heard of the Jaffe Memorandum?
No, I read the gay agenda or some letter that the
The
gay
gay,
manifesto. I've read that, but yeah, I've never read the document that you're speaking of.
yeah, the Jaffe Memorandum. Let me type it in the chat. Type this for anybody want to go check it out. I'm gonna explain it
Yeah,
to you.
I'm gonna probably check it out
Right.
after the live because I don't want to get kicked out no more. So I'm trying not to hit my screen no more, man.
I got it in the chat now. It's the Jaffe Memo. You can go check it out. I might pull it up, but the Jaffe Memo came through Planned Parenthood, and
Mhm.
Planned Parenthood came into existence. Uh, hmm, wow, that's a question I got to ask you. But Planned Parenthood came into existence through Margaret Sanger and a bunch of other racist rednecks, crackers, and they wanted to destroy our race. And before they got the name Planned Parenthood, they were called the Negro Project, and that means their whole purpose was to annihilate our race. And one thing in the memo that was written in 1969, it says that they was going to encourage increased homosexuality. Now, if this is why I asked this question,
Uh huh.
do you feel like you were born that way, or do you feel like
Yes.
how you feel when it comes to that? I hear some people say they feel like they were born that way. Well, when you deal with Planned Parenthood, Planned Parenthood deals with
I got you.
the planning of your
Mhm.
parenting, and
Good.
they in,
I got
induce chemicals into what they call that Depot Vera shot. And a lot of sisters don't even know that after they got that shot, the chemicals within the shot that they don't tell you is in there, uh, they can cause the fetus, once a lady decides she wants to get off the Depot Vera and get her, she could, because she's found a husband or a suitable mate to have children with. They didn't tell the sisters that there's a possibility that your child, after you had the Depot Vera for so many years or months, whatever, might be gay or possibly feel or have be born with a feeling later on once they
you.
recognize their feelings that they are born gay. And this ain't been talked about among our communities like it should be. But we as a whole, male and female, need to really do some research on Planned Parenthood saying that they wanted to increase homosexuality. Because if homosexuality is natural, you ain't got to try to increase it. It's going to increase on its own. If it was natural. If it was natural. Due to the fact that they know it's not natural, they had to come up with some type of way to force our people to do it. Like you said earlier, you didn't find brothers that are donors because it's just not really what we do. You haven't found brothers before the European conquered us that was this gay. Today, there are many homosexual men. Didn't find that even when I was coming up as a child. You see, there's been an increase in homosexuality among our daughters. They've become, many more of our young women are lesbians today. And it's not all because it's a trend. Some of it's because they've been medically induced into that. So when they speak, they don't even know that they're not speaking from their own mind. They're speaking from a mind, or a mind that they really naturally have. They're speaking from a mind that was given to them in the womb because they were compromised in the womb from the pale-faced man that hates them. Then on the back end, the pale-faced man that despises us can come and he'll lay with a sister, or he'll become a sperm donor. They don't have to like our race to become a
Mhm.
sperm donor because, again, it's miscegenation, and that means that it's genocide. You see what I'm saying? So in your situation, you don't even know if the man don't likes our race or not. He could say anything. I'm just saying. I'm not saying you. That's the case. I'm just saying it's not all.
Actually, for if you want to say that, you can say, shoot, I don't really deal with the pale faces like that. So
Huh?
I'm sorry, like if you would say that, I'd be racist against them. But just
Well,
don't.
if that was the case, how did he become a donor?
Because
That's
my woman is black. Once you have a
right.
black father or black mother, that child is black. Once they come from the black seed
Mm,
or the black womb, oh well, see, yeah, you're Israelite, so you feeling, yep, yeah, you
no.
got
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
okay,
It's like some Israelites believe that it's the father. I
right.
believe it
I
takes
believe
both.
it's the mother.
I
Okay,
believe it takes both. I don't think you can. I don't think
I
one
believe in
brother.
the matriarch.
Okay, I do too. But that the matriarch today, that as far as I know, I ain't never seen a woman have babies by themselves. So right now, the world I know that exists, male and
Hmm.
man and woman get together and they do what they do to produce, to make children. Can't hear you. Oh, you there? Kind of going in and out. Your voice. You there, lesbian? I don't know what happened to the voice. Lesbian, you there? Maybe somebody else may want to come in too and have a conversation. May want to talk a little bit on this here situation. Hit the cash out, family. I put that in the chat several times. All right. Let me know if y'all can still hear me out there, because I don't know what's going on. I see 39 in the counter, so we're still on. Thank you all for watching. Yeah, we're still on. I see people still commenting. Yeah, the pale-faced man has created a world where he can be a sperm donor. He can be a deadbeat, the greatest deadbeat dad on the planet. Walk around, not have no responsibility for children that he didn't make. Even though he didn't make them, he didn't lay on top of the woman because he's a soft punk. He's a faggot, a sissy. And that's probably why he don't want to lay with no woman, because he ain't interested in a woman like that. Audio, no audio. Is that audio? Can y'all still hear me? No, I'm good. Okay, y'all hear me? Okay, cool, good. I don't know what happened to Lesby. I'm gonna remove you, Lesby, if you're there, and you can come back in. I don't know what happened, so maybe we should release you. Okay, let me see. Yes, you there, sis? Nope, not there. Okay, well. This got to remove now. Shit. All right.
I didn't have the audio for a while.
Oh, okay. You there again?
Yeah. I didn't. The audio had went out.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It just went out. You mean you did something, or it went out on its own?
I probably did something. I had walked back in the house, so I put the phone in my pocket. So I probably
Oh,
did something,
okay,
man. My bad, man.
okay.
See, I try to cop out. All right, you call my bluff. You got that.
Okay.
You got that. You got that.
Oh, okay. So, like I was saying earlier, it looks to me like with the sperm donor thing, the European man has made a world where he can be a deadbeat dad, and he uses sperm banks to do that, as well as other things too. But
Hmm.
this is a very interesting situation here going on. Never talked to nobody that went to a sperm bank. So,
Actually, me and my wife, we went to a sperm bank first. We tried a frozen sample that they freeze in a cryo bank that they said that you pay, X amount of money for. We tried that. It did not work out. And even though I am a what you would consider a stud, how we established in the first portion of the show, I originally wanted to carry the baby, but I was not able to. I had some health issues. It just wasn't the right time at that point.
mhm.
So we actually found a local donor. So it wasn't frozen or anything like that. It was off the books. It wasn't through a sperm donor, but you're still right in your, if your perspective, that you feel like the sperm bank allows them to do that, because the sperm bank probably was an institution that a white man created.
Oh, it's definitely one. It's
Yeah,
definitely
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah. I would
their
agree.
institution.
I would agree.
But let me ask you this question:
Hmm.
why do you think men will create a sperm bank when they got sperm? They have all the necessary tools, the emotions, the feelings, the penis, the scrotum sac, the place to go to be intimate, everything necessary, but they would rather have a sperm bank. What is the purpose of a sperm bank? Why would men
The
create?
the
Why you?
purpose of a sperm bank is because it could be different biological reasons why heterosexual couples can't conceive. The man might have a low sperm count. The man, might develop cancer, and they might say, hey, before you take this chemo and this poison in your body, it's a good idea if you want to bank your sperm. They keep sperm bank probably for the CIA or something, to keep everybody's sperm bank on file. It's different reasons why. It could be a good reason, or it could be a reason that's routed in perversion. But I don't think that the sole reason is because the white man wanted to be a deadbeat dad, because assistive reproductive technology, sperm banks just don't help gay people. They help straight people too. They help women that can't naturally conceive, that might have an issue with their endometrium, their lining of their uterus. They might have help women who, might have lost a fallopian tube to an ectopic pregnancy. So, and she really wants a child, but she has one tube, so she has to go through assistive reproductive technology. She has to go to a sperm bank. Or that heterosexual woman that feels like, damn, I haven't found a man that I want to be with, but I'm 34 years old, I'm establishing my career, hey, I want a baby. It doesn't have to be, rooted in malice and perversion and just in the gay community, because sperm banks help straight people too, heterosexual people too. It's plenty of black people, and it might have been black people in the nation that had the same beliefs that you believe, but they just had to go to a sperm bank, because they wanted to have kids. They read the Bible. They feel like the Bible says, "Be fruitful and multiply." I can't multiply naturally, so I got to go through the sperm bank.
Hmm. Interesting. I have I've had to do some research on sperm banks with as far as our people go, because I don't know of any great history of us establishing sperm banks. I think we need our own medical industrial complex
I agree.
that deals with our own people
I agree.
and produces natural remedies and medicines for ailments and things like what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Like not
that,
able
that
to,
definitely agree. I agree
yeah,
with you, and I work in at a hospital in Baltimore. I'm not gonna put it out there, but I work in a hospital now. I work in the surgery department, where so I actually get work with the surgery schedule. I get materials together on a case by case basis, and I see the type of cases that they have, and it's a lot of young people these days, 20, 25 years old, that's having these gender reassignment surgeries too. And I feel like that's fucked up,
yeah, I
because
do too.
yeah, because I feel like if you 22, like regardless, like I'm a lesbian, but I know I keep it real. Like I know that it takes a man and a woman to sexually reproduce, but I don't like the fact that it's a whole LGBT thing. I'm just me. My family's respectful. I have a loving household, and I care about my black race. But when I see transgender women, and I know Monica 999 is in the chat. I know she ain't gonna like this, but when you're a 22-year-old and you get a gender reassignment, a surgery, you are gonna turn 28 years old, and you're gonna feel like, oh, you don't have to tell that man that you was born a male. That's rape. You can't do that. So as far as a lot of stuff in the LGBT, community, I denounce that. I don't I don't agree with a lot of that. I might dress a certain way, but at the end of the day, I know I'm a woman. I don't walk around with my chest out. I don't try to grab my crotch thinking I'm a man or something like that. Like I respect I love black men. I just don't love y'all intimately, and I'm just not at a point where I have I feel like I want to have intimate relationships with black men. And I remember one your comment earlier when you were talking about the chemicals in the water and stuff that make people gay and might be attracted to the same sex. That could be true. And I'm not gonna say it's not. I'm not gonna sit up here and front and be like, oh well, it's just completely natural. That could be true. I don't know. So I'm not going to dismiss it. But at the same time, if it is true, why is it so much hate from our conscious community that want black people to rise? People like you, brother Dawa, that I listen to, like, you want black people to rise. You want us to not be where we at now. And that's how I feel too. I wake up feeling like that every day. you know, I go to work, I gotta deal with white people and deal with the politics of the world. And I see how the world is. I see on the news that the average white family makes $171,000 a year, while the average black family makes $17,000 a year. That's not right. But my thing is, I want us to be black first. Like, this is just a branch off the tree. Like, who's gay, who's doing this, who's doing that. It's important when it comes to pedophilia and people doing stuff to these children, but at the same time, the heterosexual community cannot complain about being gay, about people being gay, because my parents were heterosexual. So where did I get it from? Like, you said a lot of stuff about the donor that we've had for my daughter. You've not said one comment about this heterosexual man that was in a heterosexual relationship with, my wife at the time, 9 years ago, and decided to commit a murder that took him away from his child. His child should have been more important than that. Like, you have not made one comment about that.
Well, I didn't even know that somebody actually killed somebody, and that's what took him away. No,
Yeah,
he didn't.
it
So
was
he
short.
didn't. So hold it. So hold it. He didn't just walk away. He did something, and the white authorities took him away. Right?
That's walking away.
No,
That's
it's
walking away.
not.
I'm sorry, because
No. Let me say
you
why
know
I
how
say.
many
Let me tell
times
you
I,
why I
I
say
wanted
it.
to blow somebody's head off, even after I came into that boy life, but knowing that I was, an anchor for him and his mother, that I decided not to go that route because of love that I had for him, and because I didn't want him. But what his father, his biological father, his mirror, should have been able to do that.
Well, uh, I don't know all the particulars. Why did he kill them? Why did he kill the person?
I don't know all the particulars either. Like I said, like earlier, I've never had a conversation with this man or anything like that. Like, him as a man, I'm a woman. You're the
But but
man. This
but
this,
but,
this
but
is your son. It's your job to, say, hey, if you're dealing with somebody serious, let me talk to shorty. Let me rap to her real quick. That's your job as a man. Whether I'm a man or a woman, to figure out who's in your son's life. And you and everybody in the chat want to talk about, like, different, like, details, but we're not getting to the root of the problem, which is heterosexual people procreate way more than homosexual people. So y'all have to set the example.
well, homosexuals can't reproduce if they stay homosexual. The only so-called homosexual that's reproducing are the ones who really not homosexual.
All right, well, do you feel like when I told you the story of how me and my wife conceived, we did not have sex? So does that make us, what you said, being heterosexual, like doing it the natural way? Because we didn't do it the natural way because there was no sex involved. So how do you explain that? Because
Well,
that's not the only way to reproduce.
you all reproduce, but to me it was kind of insane. To me, to me it's insanity because why not just get a man? Why was there why did you all make the decision to not sort of? Why did you all make the decision that the man couldn't be intimate with the woman sexually? Y'all didn't want the sex. You just wanted a portion of the man, just the semen, but not
Because we're not sexually attracted to men, and
right.
that's where it gets kind of sticky, because I feel as though like it's an aura with black men, and I feel as a black female, I don't know if it's other black women in the chat that have felt this way. We feel like we kind of owe y'all something. That comes in a point like, oh, if you want a baby, you owe me some pussy. No, like come on now, like that's the way but it's not that's the way nature works, but it's a sticky line, because as men you can't have that mindset, because that's predatory, that's exploitative. That's the same way where men feel like they can't have genuine relationships with heterosexual females unless they getting some pussy, unless they getting something out of the deal. Oh, a woman, my black sister that's gay, not biological sister, but sister, as far as you black, I'm black, can't come at me and ask me, oh damn, like if me and you grew up together and I came at you, regardless of your beliefs, like damn, we've been best friends since forever. I know you don't agree with my lifestyle, but I know you have love for me and I have love for you. If you was my brother, I want to have a baby. Would you be willing to donate some sperm? But this the only way we're gonna feel comfortable, if you donate outside the body. If you say, okay, I'm not comfortable with that, that's fine. But if you have the mindset where as though I'm not gonna procreate because I'm not getting no ass out the deal, because I'm not having sex with you, that's messed up, man. That's messed up.
Hmm. Wow. This is all quite interesting. I'm just taking it in.
Yeah, I like the dialogue, man. Like I like it. I'm
Yeah.
not like I don't know if you getting a bad taste of the things that I'm saying, but hopefully I'm
No,
giving you a window into how your everyday lesbian thinks. Like I could be walking down the street next to you, you might think, oh, look at her, she thinks she a man, da, 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 da. And I might look at you as like, oh damn, like he look like he woke, he got the dreads, he look like he cool. But you gonna look at me, and feel some type of way about me towards me because of how I dress. We black first.
yeah, race first. Hmm. Yeah, we are that. Anybody else want to ask the sister any questions? Before I ask my last few questions, I'll say my last few things. Y'all come on now. Let me share the link one more time.
Yeah, before I hit the phone one more time.
I'm reading some of the comments in the chat right quick. Mm. Mm. So we have established that sperm banks are not really what we do. That's one thing we've
Yes.
established, right?
Yep.
Is you mostly European, right? Even though we figured out or established that there may be some extenuating situations and circumstances that may call for somebody to do something different other than sex, intercourse.
Mm-hmm.
But we still have established the fact that we haven't found that in the midst of our people. So we must have had different ways to handle situations before Europeans came. So in order to get to the root, once we get to the root of the problem, I think we can fix that. And that is, the problem to me is Europeans coming into our situation. Once they conquered us, they gave us their set of rules, and we've been following their set of rules. And it's gotten worse and worse and worse. And as you say, you read the Gay Manifesto. There's a 1972 gay platform,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the Jaffe Memorandum. This American government ran by Europeans, is one that's always been one geared toward the LGBT community. Even the Statue of Liberty is not a woman. That's a big, square-jawed, pale-faced man dressed up in what is considered to be a dress, holding an upside-down penis with a torch with some fire coming out the other end of it.
And
That's
you the
really
first person that I ever heard say that, and I actually believe it. Like when you said that, when I heard you say that in one of your videos, it resonated as the truth to me. So I definitely
yeah.
I gotta agree with you there.
That is where they're taking us. See, and a lot of the youth, the ones that's in their 20s and 30s, they don't know these types of things. They haven't read the Gay Manifesto. They haven't read the
Mhm.
1972 platform, and they don't know nothing about the Jaffe Memo. But I'm gonna tell you, there's 3 documents you need if you're talking about gay and homosexuality and you gay and stuff like that. You need to understand that these documents, the Jaffe Memo, the 1972 Gay Platform, and the Gay Man Homosexual Manifesto, all documents that all of us that consider ourselves gay or straight in our community need to read, because this government had a plan to destroy us. And one of the ways to do it was to make us homosexual and to bring all types of drugs into our community to cause us to our DNA and to be compromised and stuff like that, to be weakened so that we, end up thinking and acting and operating like Europeans. A lot of
So
young people didn't
if
know that.
the a large part of the conscious community, straight male conscious community, believes that, why don't y'all embrace, you know, gay people as far as a perspective as, oh, it's not your fault because they did it, but
But
y'all,
see,
like, so
okay,
where is that? Because I want to be included. Like I want the knowledge, like like I want
well,
to subscribe my kids to the knowledge, and that's another reason why I wanted to get on your platform, because I want my kids to hear about where they come from, but when they hear where they come from, be like, oh well, I gotta hear this and this and this with it. Like what's really the truth?
right. Well, like I said, them documents are very important if we're talking about gay, homosexuality, straight stuff like that. The LGBT community, those documents need to really, truly be looked at by everybody. Okay, and then I got somebody want to come in, another Bio Africa, uh, Bowl, is that BOL Africa? This is the Yard's Real Hour, and you are a guest on the show. State your case. You there? Bo Africa. You came, I see you. It seemed like you wanted to be on.
I see him too, but it's not blinking, so I don't know if he really on or hit it by accident.
Yeah, maybe they hit it by accident. I'm gonna remove him for now. If you want to come on Bio Africa, Bo Africa, just
I
you
didn't
know,
even see him in the chat, so
yeah.
I don't
I
even know
didn't
what
even,
they got.
I didn't see that name in the chat either,
I don't
but it
know.
popped up. It popped up down here. Okay. So again, now the things we've established. One, we've established, because we got to go to the root of this. There wouldn't be a
Hmm.
child if there wasn't a sperm bank, first of all, and the donor, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And we don't have that among our people. And majority of our people, even in the gay community, it trips me out that the gay community, for the most part, don't even know that the Jaffe Memo exists.
Yeah,
They don't even know
that is crazy.
that
Yeah, that
no,
is crazy. And
yeah,
I feel like it's the responsibility for any black gay adult. If you out here in this world, you live in the same world that we do. It's certain things you need to denounce. It's certain things you need to speak up on. To show that we not that, because at the same time, it's not. Yeah, they do push the agenda, and they push certain stuff on TV. I watch certain TV. I'm gay. I'll be like, damn, like okay, well that wasn't needed. Or why they trying to make this cartoon character gay? Why they trying to do it? Like it's no point. Like why are y'all trying to do that?
right. That's
As
it.
as yeah, as a gay female, and there's a lot of other gay people that feel like that too. it's these white men that are not just gay, not just straight, they're perverted. Ain't no gay person, your black gay person up the street is not passing no legislation. We're not sitting in Congress. So when it comes time to have these conversations, if we ever going to build, we got to really pull our resources and just stop looking at the lens of we can deal with all that shit later. You don't like that I'm gay? I don't like that you ain't married your baby mother and you got three of them and you ain't built one family. We both got issues with each other. But at the same time, we need to focus on the fact that why is the black net worth almost like, 20 times less than a white man? That's what I'm going to focus on. I want to focus on getting some schools for these children that they don't got to worry about getting some shit up their nose every week because they want them and all that. That's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about what nobody doing, in their bedroom. And that's just my piece.
Mm-hmm. I got another person here in the chat, but they got a
Yeah.
real funny, strange name. African booty scratcher. This seems like somebody want to come on with some ignorance, nonsense. African booty scratcher. That's the name of the person.
His name is
That's
like Boy
crazy.
Africa or something. It was like
Yeah, let
BOI,
me see
but
what this is about. Yeah, African booty scratcher.
it's probably the same. It's definitely a troll.
I would think so.
Yeah,
Yeah, African
definitely a
booty
troll.
scratcher. You there?
What's up, nigga?
Oh, that was at 9 negative. There ain't nobody but -9. You ain't getting in. Punk. I done already told you it just ain't happening. You disrespectful. See, if you came on and we could have dialogue like this sister, it'd be different. But you
Yeah, we done
disrespectful
had an intellectual show
from the
for an
jump.
hour. Come
Yeah,
on now, don't get on at the end and try to
yeah. It's
try to
not gonna
spoil
happen.
it.
It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna
Yeah,
happen.
come on now.
So, but I need for you though,
Uh,
to do some research on those documents.
oh, definitely. I'm gonna definitely read it.
Yeah. And now let's just say it's true. It is true. The documents are there. You already seen the gay manifesto, so you know that's there.
Yeah, I seen it.
Okay, so knowing those things, I mean, shouldn't it be kind of easier for you not to understand that everybody that's among us, that's our people, our youth, our daughters, all of them aren't gay just because they like women and they really like women and they were born that way, something because of their own doing. Some of this here has been engineered.
Oh, I would 100% agree. I would 100% agree with that. And that's what I
Okay.
meant why I can only speak for myself. I know women who have been gay for 5 years. Next thing it dressed just like me, look hard in the face. Next thing you know, they got on lashes, wigs. They didn't have a baby. They got a boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
That's I've seen it. I've seen it both ways. I've seen two different sides of the coin, and I don't judge nobody. But I've also seen those women. Most of those women too. After they have that child, they go back to women. So I feel kind of a lost thing. Like I feel like it's not so much sexuality as far as it's emotion. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's a thing where as though a lot of people are looking for love,
Mm-hmm.
and when the love from a female hurts them, they go to a male. Love from a male, they go to a female. That's what I see in my community as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I
Yeah.
can't I can't speak on nobody's sexuality. But it's not just sexuality. I feel like it's emotion.
Mm-hmm. Okay, now I got to ask you this.
Mm,
We ain't got to get into all of what's done and all that type of stuff, but
right.
let's just come on. We can't front. Uh, how very important or how important is the dildo in a relationship with lesbians, sisters? Because again, I believe, matter of fact, I know that dildos, the first institution dildos came from men who just hate women and hate family. And that's the pale faced man. Didn't come from our men. Because it doesn't make sense to me for a man to sit down and fashion a penis. I'm going to get the materials and who the hell, what man sits down and actually think of all the material he going to need to go make a penis, especially
Yeah, you
race.
know the funny
It's
thing about it is though, the funny thing about what you're saying is I told you I work for a surgery department and I see a lot of gender reassignment surgeries. When they turn men into women, they have a instrument set is what you call like a collection of just things that you need for that surgery that are actually shaped and look like colorful ass fucking dildos. I seen that shit on the shelf. I was like, what the fuck is that? But the importance, it honestly, it depends on the relationship. You have lesbians that think they're men that like to wear it all the time, even out on the street. That's what they like to do. They can't have sex without it. That's how they get off. And also, you have lesbians that absolutely don't like it, that don't like no type of, that don't like to get intimate in that way.
uh,
So I would say it's about 50-50.
uh,
It's more about preference, like as far as how a straight person would prefer a sexual position.
mm-hmm.
It's more so like that. It's not like, oh, it's necessary, like, like we're trying to emulate it and things like that. It depends on the partners. It's a lot of factors that go into it, but it's not just as simple as that's a standard. When lesbians get down, one gotta be the man and one gotta be the woman. One guy strap it on, one guy strap it off. It's not like that.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask this question. Do you think there would be as many lesbians among us if there weren't an opportunity for them to buy strap-ons and dildos?
Yes,
Why? I mean, if it's just about
because
liking,
it
if it's
okay.
just
It
about
first,
liking
it ain't no
women,
women in the chat, and I'm just gonna say this: it ain't probably no lesbians in the chat. But if it was, a lot of people can't get this. But trust me, it's a lot of other stuff you can do that's way better than that with your God given appendages without having no extras. I'm just
wow,
going like just put it like that. Like all that's all you need for real.
really?
Yes, it's yeah.
Mm. Hmm, that's interesting.
And if it was any other lesbians in the chat, they would back me up. But yeah, that's the truth though.
Uh-huh. So a man is not necessary
No,
to
I wouldn't say that. It depends on all of what you like.
mm,
It depends on what you like.
mm. So,
It's
but
some
but
people that
but
consider themselves lesbians that might invite men into their bedroom. I'm sure it's more common than not. And I'm not going, like before there was sperm banks and stuff like that. If a woman wanted a baby, I'm sure they would go that route.
mm, okay. So, what about the women that are butched up out here and they turn young girls out because that's a part of the homosexual male community that is pedophiles. There are transgenders that are pedophiles, and there are lesbians that are
Yes.
pedophiles. And this is one thing a big problem I have with that particular community, period, is that they do not. I never hear them speaking about the lesbian. I mean the molesters among their particular group. The molesters in this group, and since we're talking about lesbianism, I don't hear lesbian women or see a move of lesbian women to stop the pedophiles among them. I know they exist.
Yeah, I can agree with that, and that's exactly why I'm on your channel right now, because it gets to a point where, like I said, when you see how the world is, you gotta say something. Like we need to denounce that. Like more gay people need to come out with stories and say if they have been taken advantage of as kids, and get with counseling groups and stuff like that. So I completely agree with you. More gay people need to come out and talk about stuff like that. I don't know why they don't, but
Hmm.
that's how it is.
Yeah, I don't see that much happening among that community. It's like the pedophiles. A lot of the people that are grown in these communities tell of traumatic stories of when they were children. When they use those stories as basically the reason they ended up being a same-sex lover themselves. So molestation is at the root of a lot of what we see when it comes down to same-sex relationships among our race, as far as I know. Do you agree to that?
I can agree with that. And I was hoping you would bring that up because actually, most black men have been molested by straight women.
Mm-hmm.
Most older black men will tell you that their first sexual experience was with their babysitter or older black woman.
Why do you think now we're getting into some real juicy conversation here. Why do you feel like so many of our women are into that? They want to take a young man and do to him, what they should be doing with an older man.
I don't know. I can't relate to those feelings. I feel like they probably go back to slavery, trauma.
Hmm.
I mean,
I wonder, is
generation.
it because molestation is so prevalent in our community, and most of the molestation, as far as I know, um, is coming from men touching young boys and men touching young girls. And I do believe that uh, a lot of the people, like I said, the grown folks among us that are lesbian and homosexual, have been molested by men when they were children. I think that some women do it because once a man touched them when they was a young girl, they grow up to a point where they don't want no man ever touching them again. I've heard that type of story before. I've heard stories like that. Women don't want a man touching them because they was touched when they was a child. So they go to women. There's some men that were touched by a man when they was a little boy. They grew up. They don't want no parts of a woman. They want a man. It all depends. You know what I'm saying?
And a common denominator, and that is actually, if you think about what you said, is the black male. So
yeah,
that's where we gotta focus on the healing. We gotta heal our sons.
yeah,
Like our generation is already here. Like we gotta work on these kids.
yeah, and pay attention to another government document. And that government document is the document that said they wanted to stop the rise of a black messiah. And that's the co-intelligence information. See, with the COINTELPRO, that should be lined up right there with the gay manifesto, right there, with the homosexual manifesto, with the gay 1972 platform, and with the Jaffe memo, because they're all government documents. And it makes the European man as happy as they can be when they can turn our men away from our women and toward each other. And that's one of the greatest victories they can have is when they have our women with each other and the men with each other. Do you agree?
You said, do I agree?
Yeah, you agree that that's one of the greatest victories of the pale-faced man is to be able to have our men with each other and our women with each other?
If it is engineered, then I would say yes.
It's definitely engineered. It's definitely engineered. And this is the thing, we have to look at the history of this European man. When he came into our presence, he was already a flaming homosexual. He was already a transgender. He was already a man that thought he was a better woman than a woman herself. He was already a twisted, sexually dysfunctional rapist. It's just in their particular nature. So that's all we gotta do is study those documents, and I think we can get somewhere. But I would like, for you to study them documents, and then maybe we can come together after you look at the Jaffe memo. Maybe we can have another conversation
Yeah,
after you look
definitely.
at
Yeah, I'm
the
gonna
Jaffe
definitely read it. Just give me like
memo.
a week or two.
Okay, yeah, yeah. I'll give you a week or two, and we can come back and do another show
I
and
don't know that
discuss. I
your
want to
chat been
discuss it.
frying me up a
I
little
want
bit.
to
I don't
discuss
know.
the homosexuality and lesbianism among us based on you knowing that historically this government has implemented programs to cause us to be the way we are now. And think about it. 1972, 1969 was the Jaffe Memo. The gay platform was 72. 69, 72. And I think the Gay Manifesto was 1971 or 72 as well. So these three documents came into existence right around 69, 70. From 69 to 72, we get these three documents. So this is when the government really focused hard on implementing their sweeping LGBT guidelines all throughout, America, especially for our people. It didn't happen before then. So when you go before in 72, you go 65, 60s, it wasn't like that. You didn't have
Mm-hmm.
a big push. But we got to center ourselves around 69 to 72 and those documents. When the gay community understands and reads those documents and start paying attention to the fact that some of the reason why they're gay around your age is because of that Depot Vera shot. I did a show with a guy named Leroy, not Leroy, last name Hampton. What is his name? I can't think of his first name. Big
Some,
old
but
muscle. Lee Hampton. Lee Hampton.
some, but not all,
Walter.
because
Walter Lee Hampton. I did a show with Walter Lee Hampton some years back. He's a big time YouTuber. He's the one that supposedly exposed Tyler Perry, big old muscle bound dude. And he said that I mentioned the Jaffe Memo and the Depot Vera shot, and he said in 60, right around the 69.
yeah, but man, my mother was born in 71. My mother got pregnant with my sister when she was 15 and got pregnant with me when she was 16. My mother wasn't on no depot because if she was, we probably wouldn't be here.
No,
So as
it's
far as
not.
the
It
case for
doesn't
some,
happen in every situation, but I'm saying we need to do some research around that particular Planned Parenthood and that Depot shot, and them saying they was going to encourage increased homosexuality because they what they give women is drugs. So they putting something in the system. So we have to pay attention. These people, when they start putting stuff in drugs and chemicals,
uh,
shooting it up into our body, we have what they call medical apartheid. And there's a sister, Melissa Washington, wrote a book called Medical Apartheid and talked about all types of medical atrocities that this government has placed upon our people.
yeah,
And
I'm aware.
to me,
And the same way
this is another.
with childbirth, black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die in childbirth.
Exactly. So thank you
Yeah,
for
we
bringing that up.
yes.
Right. So you see that there's something going on when it comes down to this government and the medical industrial complex when it comes down to us having children, healthy children. There's something going
Healthy children. I was listening to a lecture the other day. I think it was like Zeitgeist or something that came across my YouTube. I was at work, and it was talking about how babies in the womb react to trauma. It was talking about how, like, I never knew that if you never touch a newborn baby, they will die. If a baby just comes out and it's never touched by another human, it will die. Women feel the trauma, so they pass that down. That cortisol levels go get high when they pregnant. Like, that affects the baby's cognitive functions and all that. So when we really get deep into it, if we, it's all about the next generation. So it's people that's here that's gay now, but like I said at first, straight people are having more children. Y'all reproducing. Y'all are where the children is coming from. It ain't us. My family dynamic is a small little sector. Y'all are the picture of black people, and I'm black, so I depend on y'all, and my kids depend on y'all kids and how y'all procreate and how y'all raise y'all kids, not the other way around. Because y'all control the shit because y'all the majority.
Mm.
You gotta raise kids. You gotta respect that woman and lay with that woman. Even though I'm not heterosexual, I'm going to teach my son, don't lay with no woman, or try your best not to, if you would not make her a mother, because you could be tied to that woman for 18 years. She could completely ruin your life just by procreating with the wrong woman. I feel so bad for these babies that coming up, either they parents hate each other, either they father dead, they mother, struggling. She's unpresent because she got to work 2 jobs because the father not there. Like, our babies are suffering. I'm not worried about all that. Oh, who gay, this, that, and the third. Like, we gotta raise our kids in loving households, and that's up to y'all. So whoever in the chat could feel some type of way, oh, say she delusional, she feel this way, whatever. I'm passing that to y'all. Y'all got that. Y'all the gatekeepers.
Hmm. We definitely need to have more conversation, um, and we need to establish what is natural and what is not. And we need to establish whether we need to be doing things that are natural at this point in time or at any time, especially when it comes down to children. We don't have a structure now, a family structure, because the pale faced man has spent so much time destroying it. Because you know,
That's
that's
what
what
he
they're
do.
about.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's gonna take us coming together and excluding Europeans. And if we exclude Europeans, we have to exclude Europeans, I would say, in order for us to get where we need to be. Don't you? I think we have to eliminate Europeans. They got to go. And that whole thought process on, we have to be retrained on what sex is about, love is about, marriage is about, all those
I,
types of
I
things.
I agree. We need to educate our own kids. We need our own school systems. We need our own banks. We need our own hospitals. Until we get our own fundamental institutions, we never gonna go nowhere as a people. All our black professionals need to get together. All our doctors, all our lawyers need to get together in a perfect world, and establish our own whole dynamic. Pass the money between us. Stop paying taxes. Stop going to work. But I can go on forever about that. But yeah, we
Yeah,
can cut the white man out
yeah,
completely.
yeah, yeah. We'll be talking about that
Yeah,
with forever,
right.
but that's
Hmm.
rooted. That is the problem. The problem is the European thought process, because that's what,
Yes.
we have to cut that totally and completely. But again, tonight we have established that sperm banks is European.
Yes.
Mhm. All right. And did we establish that those who, well, I know in my mind, sperm bank men are deadbeat dad men, especially those who just, I don't want to take care of no kid, but I want a few kids. I'm just going to just donate some sperm for some money. Don't they get paid to do that?
But yeah, but not much. I mean, like, they ain't getting paid nothing to put a down on a house. You getting paid enough to probably have a meal at a restaurant. You ain't getting paid. No,
Wow.
these you ain't getting paid. Like a lot of money. So they're not in it for the money.
Mm.
And most donors that I've seen, that I've when I've been in that, because I'm in a community, so I see what type of donors are out there and stuff. Most of them just want to donate because they want to help out.
Hmm. Well, yeah. Okay, sis. Anybody, I'm gonna give y'all one more time to come on here now before I let everybody go tonight. And but we need to come back and, like I said, I have to do another show together.
Yeah, and anytime you got something that's going on and you want to reach out, just hit me up. I watch your videos, so I'll probably be in chat and like just say what's up to you and all that.
Oh, ain't no problem. Let me share a few things right quick, so just bear with me, family.
Oh, go ahead, do your thing.
I'm gonna share a little something with y'all. All right, family, this is my T-shirt. The order has been put in. Hopefully, within the next couple of weeks, I have these T-shirts. They're $27, $20 for the shirt, $7 flat rate shipping and handling. As you can see, it says, "Brother, get you a sister, sister, get you a brother, drop the other, the both of you." That's exactly what the shirt will read and how it will look, and of course, it will be black. And I will be, depending on how this works, the T-shirt sales. I'll probably go from this to long sleeves, and then probably from that long sleeves to hoodies, since it is coming up to be winter time. All right, family. And I want to also, right quick before we go, I want to get the Jaffe memo right quick up in here. Just gonna pull that up right quick, so y'all just bear with it, brother, for a second. There it is, the Jaffe memorandum. The Jaffe memorandum.
Hey, brother, I'm about to leave the stream and go in the chat.
All right,
All
all right,
right,
sister. All right, all
thanks
right.
for having me on. I appreciate it. I'm gonna be
All right.
watching your channel. Like I said, I love your content. One of my favorite quotes is "Eat the meat and spit out the bones." So that's how it is. We gotta have
All
this
right.
dialogue. We gotta get together and have more conversations like this.
Yeah, all right, no problem, my sister. I'm glad you came through tonight. It's been peaceful, now, been very respectful, no disrespect at all.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I feel
Yeah,
like we both represented our communities very well, and I hope we're gonna be an example to other people because I see some other people that get on people channels, and I just be like, you got an opportunity to reach people, and you just wasting it because you sound dumb as I don't know what.
right, 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 right. Well, again, hopefully we'll be able to come, and after this, maybe a week or so, we can. How many weeks you say you need to do the research on this
Yeah,
document?
give me like 2 weeks.
All right, so we come back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, because I got a full time job and 2 kids in here, but if you give me 2 weeks, I'll definitely get to it.
All right,
Definitely.
no problem. All right,
Mhm.
I can give you a couple of weeks, and we'll come back. We'll talk about the Jockey memorandum, and go from there.
Hey, do me a favor. I
Yeah.
don't have your number. If you still got my number, shoot me a text so I can lock you in.
All right, I
All
will.
right, all right. That's a bet. Peace, brother.
All right, sis. Peace. All right, now, family, let me go ahead on and find this document here, the Jockey memorandum. Here it is, right here. All right. Let me share this screen right quick with y'all so y'all can see it. And I'm going to let you go for the night. Hit the cash out, family. If you would, here it is. Here is the Jaffe memo that my sister Lesbian is going to be looking at later on. And we can come back and have some dialogue on it. See, proposed measure to reduce fertility by universality or selectivity of impact in the U.S. As you can see, you have these social constraints, economic deterrence and incentives, social controls, measures predicted on existing motivation to prevent unwanted pregnancy. Now, remember, the Planned Parenthood was created on the premise of not wanting any black or melanated pregnancies. So remember that. All of our pregnancies really is unwanted. Know this. Understand that. Now it says here over here in the social constraints section, you have the restructuring of the family. That's where you got shows out like now called. There was a show came out some years ago. And it what was this? What was that called? I can't think of what it was called, but it had a family where it was a mixed family. I think it was about 2, 3, maybe 3, 4 years ago, something like that. A Mixed Family was a sitcom, and they was, I guess, showing us what a mixed family looked like and how they operate now. I was the guy from Al Bundy. I think Al Bundy was in it. Maybe y'all may know. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, they had a sitcom that came out. I think it's called The Modern Family, something like that. That kind of goes in line with the restructuring of the family. You can see all these commercials where you see these not misogynic, but miscegenation relationships where you have a brother with a white woman or a sister with a white male. That's another restructuring of the family because that's genocide, honestly, when you start mixing the races like that, having children. It says postpone or avoid marriage. You see a lot of that has happened today. Marriages have been postponed or just we ain't getting married. Don't want to get married. Alter the image of the ideal family size. Used to be wasn't no problem when a sister had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, maybe more than that children. Now a sister having 8 babies for one man, it's crazy now. Sisters ain't doing that. Sisters may have 5 or 6 children, but it ain't gonna be with just no one man. The family has been restructured. There used to be a time when a man could easily have 10, 15 children. Easily. And a lot of men had over 5, over 6, over 7 children back in the day. But they restructured the family. Now it says compulsory education of children. See what they're doing with the children's education now. These are the social constraints here. See, we're dealing with social media. These are the social constraints, what you're seeing in the social media world. Encourage increased homosexuality. That's the part I want to get to right there. They want to increase homosexuality. And if it's something that's natural, feelings and emotions, they can't do nothing to increase that. That's why I'm letting you know, family, it's something different. They have chemically induced our women and they would never tell the truth. So it's up to us to do the research on such a thing. All right. Nobody else came on to say anything, but y'all check these documents out. Last thing I'm going to do is type these documents up in the chat. Everybody needs to look these documents up, especially those who are considering themselves of the LGBT experience. That's the Jaffe Memo, the 1972 gay platform that was done in Chicago, which talked about how they were going to come into legislation and go into politics and different parts of America's social constraints and construct and change to make things the way they want them to be. the Jaffa Memo, the 1972 Gay Platform, and the Homosexual Manifesto. All three of these documents need to be read, and you need to read them alongside the COINTELPRO documents. Now, you want to learn about this government's push to make homosexuality the order of the day among us? Those documents are necessary. Now, my sister said she's going to take a couple of weeks. We can come back. We'll have another conversation after she's read the Jaffe Memo. And, we're going to go give our comments on that. Correct. No mixing none, right? No mixing of the races. I totally agree. All right, family. I'm thankful for all of you all coming through tonight. We've got what we have? How long we been on? Almost 2.5 hours. That's usually way more than what I usually do. Y'all know I only come on here for about an hour, but since we had such an interesting topic and a willing participant that seemed as if they had some intellectual abilities and a way to articulate themselves so that we didn't get into an argument, I decided, we come on and we chop it up. And hopefully we'll do this thing again. Thanks for having me. And brother, much love to the chat. Yeah. No problem, my sister. Hopefully we'll see you in another couple of weeks. Y'all stay safe. Take care of yourself. Keep your babies away from that damn jab, all right? And much love to you, sister. Believe me. But we've got to be strong in our resistance of the European in every way of life. And when we're fighting an enemy or fighting a war, you must identify the enemy and eliminate the enemy. That's when the war will be over. If you don't identify the enemy, you can't eliminate him. So we got to go through these documents and identify the enemy. And then we can go forth and annihilate them. All right now, family, I'm glad y'all enjoyed the show. Brother, get you a sister. Sister, get you a brother. Drop the other, both of you. Alito, family. Peace.